Welcome to Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker, and welcome to part 2 of Low Self-Esteem, why people to get out of prison and go back to the criminal lifestyle. Now, in the last episode, I focused more on what happens to a person with low self-esteem, how it can lead to a person making bad decisions in their lives and leading them to commit crimes, cheat on their boyfriend or girlfriend, whatever the case may be, amoral behavior, you know what I mean? But in this episode, we're going to focus more on the things that I do. I'm just going to give you some tips as far as what I do on a daily basis to improve and increase my self-esteem, okay? Now, let me address something that I talked about in the last episode a little bit. I was more focused on drug dealers and the people that are in and out of prison as far as why they keep coming back to prison. But I do want to point out that an adult that has low self-esteem was 9 times out of 10 probably a teen or a preteen that had low self-esteem. This is a problem that is sweeping the country. It's an epidemic in my opinion, and it's something that we need to be paying close attention to, especially with all of the social media and stuff like that going on, right? So with that said, let's just jump right into it. And what is self-esteem? Let's touch back on that just for a second. Self-esteem is basically how we perceive ourselves, right? It's that feeling that we get when we think about how we look, how smart we are, how good we are at basketball, chess, whatever the case may be, right? It's how we, compare ourselves, you know what I'm saying, when we think about what it is about us that makes us feel good about, okay? Now, what I try to focus on is, okay, is this something that I can deal with? And 9 times out of 10, it is. Now, my main suggestion to anybody that's dealing with low self-esteem is to seek therapy. Right? But let's say you're in a situation like me and you're in prison or you don't have the money or whatever. The circumstances just don't dictate for you to be able to pay somebody to help you get to that level where you feel good about yourself, right? So what are some of the things that I do on a daily basis? Well, one of the things that I do is I've learned to not compare myself to others, right? That is very important. Don't compare yourself to other people. Because when you start to do that, you're going to be trying to, what they call, keep up with the Joneses. You know what I'm saying? Do what they do or try to outdo them just to make yourself feel good. It's not going to work. Why is it not going to work? Because those external things that we see, right? Like we might see somebody that's got a pair of Jordans. We might see somebody that knows how to dunk or plays chess well or whatever the case may be, that looks good or attractive or whatever the case may be. And we'll start to compare ourselves to them and say, well, I'm not this and I'm not that. And that'll start digging away at your self-esteem. And when you start digging away at your self-esteem, right, you're building a wall around yourself, right? It's going to close you off from everybody else. So what I don't do is I don't compare myself to other people. And I stop trying to focus on what other people have and what they think I should be doing and all of those types of things. That's important, right? Now, the next thing that I do is I try to figure out and focus on what I'm good at. You play the cards that you're dealt. We all have strengths and weaknesses, right? We all do. But focus on your strengths, right? Figure out what you're good at and get in that lane. Now, don't ignore your weaknesses. Don't ignore your weaknesses. Figure out what your weaknesses are and try to improve on them. Try to improve. If you're not good at public speaking and you want to be a public speaker, practice. Get in the mirror. Practice it. If you want to learn how to make beats or anything like that and you're not good at it, read up on it, get your keyboard, whatever the case may be. Watch YouTube videos, whatever you have to do to improve on the weaknesses that you have. And especially if it's something that you want to get into, you do that. Be open to change. That's the next thing. Be open to change. Try to figure out what it is that you want to do and then surround yourself with people that can help you do that motivate you to change and do other things, right? Just don't give up on yourself. Don't let fear start to lock you into believing that you cannot become a better version of yourself. That's not true. But the next thing you need to focus on is be realistic. Be realistic about what it is that you want to do. I'm not saying that you can't achieve anything. You're a child of God, made in his image. You feel me? So there's nothing that you can't do. But let's just say that you decided you want to be a surgeon, right? Well, you're not going to be a surgeon operating on people if you don't go to college, if you don't go to medical school, right? But if you don't have the wherewithal, that drive to do that, realistically, you're not going to become a surgeon. Let's face things like that and be realistic about what it is that you want to do. And I'm going to tell you, the next thing, this is very important. Surround yourself with people that will support you, people that will be honest with you, right? Even when you don't want to hear it. As long as they're saying it in love and not trying to hurt you, accept that. But be careful with who you surround yourself with, because you got some people that will appear to be someone that cares about you, but in truth they're not. So be careful of that, right? And keep it positive. That's the next thing. Stay positive about whatever it is that you want to do, right? And keep people around you that are positive. You don't want people around you that always see something there. You say, well, the sun is going to be out today. It's going to be nice today. But yeah, they said it was going to rain though, blah, blah, blah. Those types of people will pull you down, right? Pray for them and keep it moving, man. Pray for them and keep it moving. You know what I mean? The next thing I would ask you to do is figure out what you love. Man, let me tell you something about myself, right? When the opportunity presented itself for me to do this podcasting, it's something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. As far back as I can remember, I never really shared that with anybody when I was growing up, but I wanted to be on the radio. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why I didn't share that with people, because I'm sure if I would have told my grandparents that, they would have pushed me in that. I don't know what it was. It was just something about wanting to be on the radio. I should have shared that. I wish I would have. And I'm encouraging you, whether you're in prison or out of prison, if it's something that you want to do, do it. But keep it positive now, but do it, right? The next thing you have to do, live in the present, man. Live in the present. The past is the past. It's what it is. You got to live today. Embrace yourself with the technology and all the things that you need to do, that you need to use to move yourself forward in this world. Don't think that you can live in the past and achieve things that you want to achieve. It's not going to happen, man. You have to live in the present. You can't change the past. You know what I'm saying? And there's no way that you can predict the future, but you can't change the past. So focus on the here and now and keep a positive outlook on life, okay? And the last thing that I would say, man, and this is probably going to be real hard for a lot of you out there, right? It was hard for me. You're going to have to learn to share your feelings. Talk about what you feel, how you feel to somebody that you trust. Don't hold things in. When you do that, you hurt yourself and you'll end up hurting the people around you. Now, the things that I've suggested are just some of the things that I do. You may be able to find some things that are better than what I just gave you, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? But these are some of the things that I do on a daily basis. I don't do all of them every day, you know what I'm saying? But I do at least do one or two of these every day, focusing on myself, trying to always be that better version of me. And that's what I encourage you to do. So with that said, this has been another episode of Doing Time with Joe, and I'm your host, Joe Baker, and I say peace.